First of all, I want to thank y'all for tapping into this live. I'm actually going to create a series called the Exoticprenuer Speaks, which is going to be a series specifically designed for success principles and a successful mindset. Okay, a lot of times we get into business and we constantly are working on our business and working on our growth and trying to move forward on in our journey. But the thing is that there's a lot of principles that I've learned over the last 20 years that people are just missing to be successful in their particular business or their particular niche. And over a series of times, I started consistently getting people just ask me like, well, what is up with the mindset of like getting there? And we go into a lot of groups and you get all these success gurus and you get all these people that are being successful and really just showing you that they made a lot of money. And the thing is that they start hyping you up and geeking you up. Hey, what's good? You know, and hyping you up and geeking you up, but the actual nuts and bolts of like, well, what is it? What do I really need to do to get to this next level? What do I really need to do to really achieve success? And so first thing I wanted to do, and this thing is, first of all, I'm going to let you know, all smart people are really freaking stupid. The reason why I can say that is because I'm extremely smart. I'm very smart. I have degree. I've studied from engineering to computer science, so all of that technical stuff, all the way up to design and print, and all of those technical aspects. I can work with my hands. I can work in I can take complicated things because I was very exceptional in math and in science and break them down to a simplified form. So I can qualify myself as a smart person. And I worked in a lot of different genres. However, when you get in a room with all these smart people, you start finding out that they miss other humane skill sets that makes them hard to deal with. So their personality types are very difficult, which makes them stupid in that sense because of the fact of the matter that they can't even communicate like you and I can communicate on a humane level because they're so analytical and so smart in book knowledge that they have no human knowledge and no emotional knowledge. So because of that, I'm the first one to tell you, I struggled with that for years, and I'm not years, decades. And that's still a part of my learning journey right now, is literally learning how to effectively communicate with people on a day-to-day basis that I have not experienced the same struggles and hurt and pain that they may have went through, because I was fortunate. I didn't go through a exceptional growth, and now by no means my family was middle class. We had food on the table, but it wasn't always the best food, but it was food on the table every day. My mama made sure she had food on the table, and my daddy went out to work. Even though my parents was not together, they was not together. They got married and then they got divorced. So my lifestyle and my upbringing was no different than most people out here, but I didn't have extreme poverty as some people have came up in. But I'm the oldest of 10 kids. So even though we wasn't rich, we wasn't banging, you know, we were okay in regards to just living and surviving. Okay, we just survived. We did not thrive. We just survived. I actually used to get clothes from my neighbor who was 6 foot tall. I'm 5'10". So all his clothes were too big for me, but those was the hand-me-downs that I had to survive off of, and my siblings had their hand-me-downs. So because of that, it's not like we had a silver spoon or nothing like that, or we was exceptional. And because of the way my brain worked, is I had a very self-assured about myself. So I didn't like that I couldn't fit those big clothes, so I would make my own clothes as a challenge to myself. So because of that, I effectively will always challenge myself all the time, consistently, all the time. So because of that, I didn't know it at the time that was a part of my journey on becoming successful or understanding what real success was until I got older. But yet those little nuances of sewing my own clothes, just to be able to wear, back in the day, they used to call them used jeans. These were $100 jeans, and I couldn't afford them. My parents couldn't afford them. So I would literally sew orange jeans and all of that kind of stuff to try to look cool and feel like I was a part of the crew. So just understand that, you know, just because people are smart doesn't make them exception and does not give them the qualifications to make them successful or make a lot of money. They just may just be good at doing things. So, and that's one of the first thing I wanted to touch on is that, you know, when you start having a lot of ideas and you start finding creativity, the biggest thing that we run across of is, you know, overthinking. You know, and if you ever been in this space, and I want to make sure I can see this correctly. Now, I'm a whiteboard guy. I do it. I got the whiteboard on digital, but I like the whiteboard. Overthinking. I don't know who on the planet have not been in this space when it comes to over freaking thinking. I do it. I know if you're a business owner, or if you're a person that's trying to start a business, or you're trying to just figure out how to go to the next, figure out how to make money right now outside of your job, you're going to be falling victim to overthinking. And I'm here to tell you today that overthinking is your biggest enemy. Why? Because when you're overthinking, you're trying to analyze something that really virtually don't exist. And I can tell you from my own experience of how I still to this day have to challenge myself to not overthink a process because I want to know everything. So let's put this in perspective. You got your idea, and let's say you want to start a floral company in a floral business, and you know a lot about making flowers. However, you don't know, but you want to get the word out, but you don't know how to market it. So you start thinking about all these different ways to just figure out how to actually tell somebody about it. And you like, oh, I need flyers, I need business, I need this, I need business loans, I need all this over stuff. And you literally get so overwhelmed with just thinking about the process of going out and starting your floral business that you don't do it. Or you feel like it's too much now. It's overwhelming. And at that point, you just thought yourself out of a whole process. Another way you can say it is like, you know, like me, and one of the things that I'm full transparency, I'm a clutter bug. My brain be active so much that I don't think about the little things. And the little things of like organization. And that's what I mean by little things to organize. So like I know where all my papers at to handle my business. But if somebody or a total stranger come into my place of work, they're gonna be like, this is a hot mess. And it's because my mind is so active, I just put it, but I know where I put it. Well, with that, you start thinking about like, well, I need to clean this mess up. And when you look at the mess, and he's like, I need to clean this mess up. And at that point, I would literally get overwhelmed with just the thought and the energy of actually literally going out and cleaning and organizing my whole space. And that overthinking made me not even feel motivated to actually do it. And then I sit down and get distracted and fall asleep because I've literally thought my way to the point that I made myself tired. I don't know if anybody can relate to that. Have you ever thought so hard about something that you made yourself sleepy you had to take a nap? Have you thought so hard that you had to end up taking a nap? Because it was just that you just overwhelmed yourself so hard thinking about a process, thinking about what you got to do, where you got to go, that you started overthinking, and before you know it, you got sleepy. And now you lost more time than you did going forward. You feel what I'm saying? So I know I'm talking to somebody here because if I did it, I know somebody else did it. Anyway, so because of that, that overthinking is our biggest enemy. So what I want to do is give you some tips. Sorry here. I want to give you some tips on how to master this particular headache problem. To be honest, problem on that you're going to experience, because we always going to overthink. That's not going to go nowhere. It doesn't matter how successful, how much money you make. All of the people in business now still overthink a situation because the thing is that I'm going to give you a tip on this. The first thing in overthinking is let's identify the real problem when you're let's identify the real problem when it comes to overthinking. The first problem that you're trying to identify why you're overthinking is trust. Trust. Now, what do you mean by trust? Yourself. Trusting yourself. Now, there's a difference between believing in yourself and trusting yourself. Okay? Now, let me explain. The problem that you're running across when you're actually overthinking, you're trying to analyze it, and trusting yourself is, will it work? That's the question you ask yourself. Will it work? Second is, since you have no experience in it, because you're just your first time around. It's like when you ride a bike, you don't get confidence in riding a bike because you want somebody with you. But if you're by yourself, like a lot of us feel like we are, or literally is. If you was growing up like I grew up, I was by myself. I was by myself because I didn't have nobody I could talk to or relate to with my ideas or how I thought, because all my siblings were cool kids. All my siblings played sports. It was in basketball, football, gym, gymnastics, and I was the only one playing Nintendo and learning science and math. I was learning how to develop video games and doing architecture, but not building buildings, but actually doing the actual programming behind that. I had nobody to relate to. You know what I mean? The internet wasn't a big deal back then. So there was a lower connection. So being by yourself and learning how to trust your attitudes or trust your process was literally trial and error. So because of that, you created a fear of execution. I know I'm hitting somewhere. I know I'm hitting somebody. And because you started from that overthinking, your lack of trust in yourself, and questioning, will it work? You created a fear of execution, which created the doubt. That doubt, and before you know it, you stopped. Okay? That stopped. And when you stopped, you question, is it going to work again? Did it work? Or now you start feeling like, oh, I can't do it. And when you start thinking like, I can't do it, you don't do it. And when you don't do it, now you're mad at yourself and you're envious, because this is what happens. You start becoming envious of other people's success. You start becoming envious of other people's success because they created a process, or they literally are showing their success or their actual products from their success based off of that. Now I want to go a little deeper in this a little bit, and we're going to go there. I want to define what is success. My opinion or suggestion of success. As the Exoticprenuer, which is unique thinking in action, it's success defined in my actual terminology is not material. Okay? Success is defined by your ability to complete something. Okay? Not material, not what you can actually see, but your ability to complete something in an efficient and thorough manner. That is success. That means your ability to be able to actually successfully complete a process from start to finish creates success, okay? That is success. To become successful is being able to create an income or monetize it at a level where that other people can find value in your ability to complete a process, or a process or service, either in communication as we talk, or in physical goods like this. Okay? So if you're looking to become successful, then that means you have mastered a particular skill, value, or subject at the level of completion, where that you can effectively share it with other people for them to add value to their life in exchange for money. Okay? If you get that concept right there, which is no longer a concept, this is an absolute principle. It's a guideline that I gauge any business that I go into from now to end. The reason why I can say that with 100% authority and posterity and 100% fact is because Donald Paradis, became successful in the gentleman's club industry. I want to repeat that. With no background, with no education in street knowledge at all, a pure nerd, a pure geek, became successful in the gentleman's club industry and started from a beginning of nothingness, of ignorance, arrogance, and overconfidence in himself, only because I was studying. I lacked people skills. I'm telling you that 100%, 10%. The Exoticprenuer is talking to you right now. I lacked people skills. I did not lack book knowledge. That's why I can comfortably say smart people are stupid. I lacked people skills. I went into a gentleman's club industry, and as a person who did not know nothing about nobody, one of the most dangerous areas in perception is not dangerous at all. Everything is dangerous. If you go out the door, you're going to get dangerous. So I want to make sure I'm clear. Perceived danger, went into that space and became my own boss, and over time ended up running, operating, and owning my own clubs, nightclubs, industries, and events. Restaurants and all. This is fact. You can go through my timeline if you're on the Exoticprenuer page and look through my timeline. I left majority of the stuff outside of the sexy content. And outside of that content, I took that down out of respect of my transformation. So I don't put a lot of the sexy stuff that I used to have up there, but you can verify that I am who I qualify to be. Okay? I took that knowledge that I went in there and became my own boss and became successful in that space. So because of that, I can assure you that success itself is universal. 100% universal. Which means I'm going to teach you the principles of success that you can apply in any industry on the planet, in any area on the planet, with doable, actionable steps to get there. Because let's keep it a buck. How many of y'all hate asking a person answer the person a question and they give you a bullshit answer, or they give you an answer that does not answer the question you asked? Because, and I'm going to tell you, be honest with you, I've done it a lot of times, a million times before I got better, and is asking the right question and knowing what you're actually asking, and then the person being able to understand the context of the question. So if you get a bullshit answer, a lot of times they don't know how to answer the question, or they're looking at you as a threat. Because I am a person that don't fear nobody, and I used to, I'm not going to say I didn't. I used to fear a lot of people because I was scared of them taking me out. I was scared of them being my competitor, and now I wasn't able to compete in the marketplace. When in the real world, everybody's competing. But because I wanted to save myself and be fearful of your potential, then I used to hoard information, hoard valuable things that will give you an opportunity to win, and that created my failure. Because I didn't know failure until I got into successful spaces. I didn't know failure until I got into a space of growth. I had to lose my club. So I had a club. You can check it. You can verify it. I owned my own clubs. You can check and verify it. But I ended up losing them. I lost them in 2019. I'm telling you the date. So you ain't got, if you can Google me and try to do the fact check, I'm telling you when that happened. 2019, everything went left. Everything went left. Okay? But because everything went left, I understood the next level of failure to success. Why? Because in that space, I understood and learned what I did was not normal. Also, what I did was something that I can apply into other areas. And I, since then, applied them to other areas based off of what I learned in that industry on human skills, on actually friendships, relationships, on spirituality, on health, on financial accumulation, on business, actual structure, on restaurateuring, on, I can go list on and on and on. I've now created 6 new companies, 6 different companies. So listen, I want to be full transparency. I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm not looking to sell you anything. I want to share with you how to become great. I want to share with you the mindset of an exoticpreneur, how they're aligning mind, body, and spirit to attract capital gains. This is the secrets that was afforded to me being in an industry that most people talk about in a negative sense. But when you get in there, not as a patron, okay, I want to be clear, not as a patron, but as an actual principal of the area, and becoming an actual observer of the total opportunity inside of that industry, I learned that there was some parallelisms of traditional successful businesses and in the exotic entertainment industry. And because of that, I learned how to combine them two to teach both sides of the game in a honest and true and transparent space where that it doesn't matter how you started. Hell, it doesn't even matter what your game is. If you apply this universal mindset, which I'm going to take a quote from Waddle D. Wallace. Waddle D. Wallace. You can look him up. 1914. He was born in 1914. This is some things on the science of getting rich. He stated, and I quote, and this is all a simple thing: success is a certain type of way. Success principles is thinking a certain type of way. So I don't want to take credit for something that is, because I always wanted to be successful, but I didn't know what that really meant until I actually became successful, and then look back over my life and start realizing what was the actual habits, what was the actual things I do, what was the mindset that I was adopted. But here's the kicker. What was the other people that were successful in their industry and how they thought, how they moved, how they interacted. And then getting around another circle of successful people. Do you hear me? I was just in the room with my next level of successful people who are 6, 7, and 8 figure earners. And you're going to see the post. If you go to my other page, Donald Paratus, I'm going to pin that. I'm going to pin that right here. If you go to my other Instagram page right here, you will see a conversation with a verified, successful 7-figure earner, and our conversation just on health and becoming successful in the health industry without being a doctor or something like that. Do you feel me? So because I was in that space in the Gymnast Club industry and became successful, got into the same high earning rooms. Now I moved on to a whole nother industry, a whole nother thing that I had very little bit experience in, and got into the same rooms. I'm going to share with y'all these processes. Okay, so I just want to. I didn't mean to get too far off the tangent. I just want to make sure we understood where I've come from. My intent is for you to become successful. My intent is for you to understand the principles of how to get where you want to be. As exoticpreneur attitude is to define your purpose and then being able to wear it with pride. That's what this E stands for. This E stands for exoticpreneur, unique thinking and action, to define your purpose and help you get your pride, wear it with the authority and the posture and the magnitude of who you really are, and making sure that you're adding value to people's lives in a realistic, honest, and genuine way. Okay? So, in this space of overthinking, you found your fear. You identified that you didn't trust yourself. You also understand that anxiety, that you just trumped up in your head. This is why I fight. I constantly stress to people that anxiety is really you're fighting your own fear. It is the conversation between your good self and your bad self competing with each other. Oh, hello? I'm not going to get too deep into that. If you want to learn more, check out the Exoticprenuer podcast on all your favorite platforms. It's on Apple Tunes, iTunes, Spotify, Pandora, Audible, Amazon Music. If you want to learn more about that, it's absolutely free. So again, I don't want nothing from you. I want you to just be better. I want y'all to learn the stuff that they try to charge tens of thousands of dollars for. Get this free sauce. It's free. It's open. Get it. Apply it if you want to. If you don't want to apply it, hey, can't say that someone did not put this word out here. So when you're fighting that fear, and you're actually identifying that your fear was just your anxiety, and your fear was just, hey, I don't know what I want to do, and I want some help. I need somebody to help me understand that. That is when you paralyze yourself. So how do you fight that? How do you actually overcome that part? Okay, I'm about to tell you exactly how you overcome that part. It's gonna be real sweet. You get up. That's it. You get up. Try it any way. That is how you fix overthinking. In a nutshell, you get up and try it anyway. And with that being said, hey, look. Yes, I went all the way through that because I wanted y'all to get the thing. Success is not complicated. Success is not hard. Success is literally just finding what you do best, finding something that you do extremely well, at the point that you can actually share it for a premium with value add. With value add. That's it. With value add. And from there, you will become successful by effectively doing it to enough, working with enough people that finds value into it for you to afford to live beyond, here's the kicker, live beyond your normal spending habits, your normal life habits. Let me be clear. Your normal life expenses. Anything beyond your normal life expenses is considered successful. From the exoticpreneur's point of view. Some of y'all might consider successful having big cars and fancy houses and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to give y'all a quick tip on that. And then we can let this go. In business, if you're spending or if you're buying fancy, high income, high cost cars, jewelry, houses, your business is at minimum grossing 70% more of that. So you're literally affording those high ticket items because you're spending only 30% of your gross income to buy it. That's how they're able to afford that if they're doing it for real. If you're doing that on the attention for fronts, then you're hustling backwards. And you're not successful, you're actually going to fail. That is an absolute fact. I've acquired all of that stuff and I've lost all of that stuff. So I'm at a point, like Mike Tyson says, where that it means nothing to me. I am comfortable living in a trap. I'm comfortable with four walls, the internet, and a place to lay my head. I am at that point in my life. So I've never been a material showing person. I will never be that person. You can, I promise you on God, I ain't never been that person. Don't care to be that person. And if you don't find value in what I'm sharing with you because I'm not showing a fancy car or a big house and stuff, that's cool. this ain't for you. This channel ain't for you. This channel is for people that want to acquire success, that want to be successful, and want to understand the principles to get there in a real, honest, genuine, unbiased, unmalicious way to get there, period. Point blank, period. I am very straightforward. My goal in all of this is really, honestly, is so that we can have a lot of us on top and let us know that success looks like us. Just like Asians got successful Asians, just like Arabics got successful Arabics, just like whites have successful whites, just how blacks, Africans have successful blacks. Black Americans can look like us and we can be successful. And the principles that are founded are universal. As they stated, and I'll reiterate it, the law of success, the energy is universal. It don't care what you do, alone that you apply the parameters. And if you apply the right parameters and do it in a certain type of way, you're going to be successful. Doesn't matter if you're in a titty bar, or in the corporate America, or in what is it? Or in the collegiate space. It don't freaking matter. You do it a certain type of way, effectively, consistently, and responsibly, you're going to get there eventually. And with that being said, hey, look, I want y'all to stay healthy. I want y'all to get wealthy. Hey, look, if y'all find value in what I just shared with y'all, and I'm going to do tons of this stuff now because my purpose has now been defined. You know, I would like y'all to support my book. It comes in an audio form, and it comes in a physical book like so, or in an ebook. My book, Defined by Purpose, which details the guidelines of success that I learned from the exoticpreneur industry. It's my guidelines that broke down in 18 very specific guidelines that if you apply those guidelines, you will become successful no matter where you're at. And master your niche. Master your niche. It doesn't freaking matter. And this is just, hey, if you feel the weed, you can literally type in the Exoticpreneur, which is spelled there. Matter of fact, let me be a little bit more smart about this. I will post a link. Let me post a link right here. Give me a second. Sorry about that. The link is actually in the bio. The link is actually in my bio. Link is actually in my bio. If you want to, it takes you directly to Amazon. The book is directly on Amazon, so you can get the book. Just spell out the Exoticpreneur, and it'll pull up my actual book. If you want to support it, if not, it's cool. I appreciate y'all just tapping in, and that's really all that matter to me. Tapping in, getting this sauce, get this bag. Get into y'all bag, understand the principle of success so y'all can move to the next level, and we go deeper into this. If you want to learn more about learning specific techniques on marketing, advertising, on how to leverage this current technology and get prepared for this new technology, then you can go to my website, masteryourniche.com, Master Niche Marketing. I'm going to put it on the back. Let me clear this stuff out. Master Niche Marketing.com. You can go in there, sign up for the course. The course is cheap as shit. Straight like that. This course is so cheap that you'll be wondering, like, why is he doing it? It's because I'm not here on this earth for a cash grab. I'm here at things to add value. But because the add value, the servers are not free. The actual servers that actually host all this stuff is not free. So I did it as cheap and as inexpensive as possible. So it doesn't matter because I was a person who couldn't afford some of those big tickets, but I still wanted to know the knowledge. I'm telling you, I was one of those persons who got his first chance at real success with $7. That's the truth. Honest God truth. $7. is what put me in a position to come to talk to you right now. So because of that, of course it's not $7. Of course it's like cheaper than that. Like, well, that's not cheaper than that. It's like $27. It's $27. I'm telling you the price. That's the price. It's $27. So, you know, $27. You learn some extra. You learn some stuff that can put you into another position, and you know, and that's just doing the math. So, being honest with you, I wanted to learn this information. I YouTubed and Googled before Google was even out. I read a lot of books, and they still would just give you like lofty answers. So I'm gonna get straight to the point. I'm gonna give you exactly what you're looking for. And if I don't answer what you're looking for, you can DM me or call me directly, and I'll answer whatever question you really try to get into, so you can get to the next level. So with that, I know what it feels like to be like that, because I was hungry, I was thirsty, I was broke. I didn't have a clarity of thought, and I was overthinking all day because I just didn't trust what I was doing. So I created programs to literally give you as much value, as much sauce as possible while I'm on this earth until the day I die. But with that, you will get a culmination of accumulated knowledge that I've been acquiring for the 40 years on this earth that I am. But I've been studying things from thousands of years all the way up to current today. So you're going to get all of that sauce if you choose to do it. Hell, if you just one of them nerds like me who just want to know shit, just want to know a lot of shit about a little bit of everything, then that course will help you a lot on just getting on your game. And if you want to step your marketing game up on whatever level, from creative to video creatives to how to design, because that's how I made my first round of money. My first round of real success was, I'm a graphic designer and photographer, and I've studied print. I've been a print company for 18 years. 18 years I've been a print company. So that's my niche. These banners are from my warehouses. All the print work is from myself. So that's what I do. If you want to know my money and where I really do it, is I'm a printer. I print banners, and mostly banners now. I don't really focus on flyers no more, but banners. Banners, wide format banners, that's my company. That's what I do. So, you know, this is not for me to cash grab any of y'all. This is for me to give y'all the values and the skill sets for success, so that y'all can achieve y'all success and whatever. And if y'all looking for it to get y'all stuff printed and duplicated to be for your events, concerts, webinars, stuff like that, then come holler at the kid. You know what I'm saying? I do this stuff for real. This is not for fake. You feel me? That's what this whole channel is about. It's about just learning the principles behind it so you can master your niche. And I help you with that as thoroughly and as detailed as possible. Okay? And with that being said, hey, look, as again, you know, you can go to click the link in the bio, grab my book, just on some principles, guidelines of success from a different point of view, but the sauce is still real. It'll put you there. If not, hey, I pray that you tapped in. Stay healthy. And we'll talk about that another time. But let's stay healthy. Let's get wealthy. Don P out. Peace.